Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. International diplomacy is usually a dance of pleasantries and protocol, but in October 2025, that dance was shattered. In a tense meeting room, US Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hoekstra, erupted at Ontario's Trade Representative David Paterson in a tirade that stunned both sides. News of the outburst spread rapidly, symbolizing the raw, confrontational style of the Trump administration. Ontario Premier Doug Ford condemned the language, demanding a public apology and turning a private dispute into a public spectacle. The incident exposed months of simmering trade tensions and signaled that the old rules of engagement no longer applied. It became a global story, highlighting the strain on traditional alliances in an era of populist nationalism. The undiplomatic tirade transformed a trade dispute into a full-blown diplomatic crisis, leaving both nations on edge. Every conflict has a flashpoint, and here it was a television ad aired during the World Series. Ontario's government, led by Doug Ford, used a 1987 Ronald Reagan quote, "Tariffs hurt every American," to challenge Trump's protectionism. The ad was a direct appeal to conservative Americans, bypassing the White House and speaking straight to the public. Ford called it the most successful ad in North American history, boasting over 1 billion impressions and refusing to apologize. The US reaction was swift and furious. The Reagan Foundation condemned the ad for misusing Reagan's words. President Trump seized on the controversy, framing the ad as a personal attack and a fraud. What began as a clever political move quickly escalated, provoking the very response Ontario hoped to avoid. The Reagan gambit got America's attention, but at the cost of inflaming tensions. The stage was set for a dramatic and punitive US response. The October 2025 crisis didn't come out of nowhere. US-Canada trade has always been a mix of cooperation and competition. Decades of integration through NAFTA and later USMCA built deep economic ties, but disputes over lumber, dairy, and agriculture were common. Trump's election in 2016 marked a shift to protectionism, with NAFTA renegotiated under threats and tension. In summer 2025, the US imposed harsh tariffs on Canadian exports, 35% on many goods, 50% on steel and aluminum, 25% on autos. These measures shocked Canada's economy and strained cross-border supply chains. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government tried to negotiate, but frustration mounted as talks stalled. Ontario's provocative ad campaign was a last-ditch effort to break the deadlock, escalating the fight into the public arena. This crisis is shaped by powerful personalities on both sides. President Trump's confrontational, transactional style and use of social media upended diplomatic norms, turning policy disputes into personal feuds. Ambassador Pete Hoekstra, echoing Trump's aggression, became a lightning rod for Canadian anger after his outburst. On the Canadian side, Prime Minister Mark Carney favored quiet, technocratic negotiation, while Ontario Premier Doug Ford took a bold, populist approach. Ford's decision to launch the ad campaign marked a clear break from federal strategy, reflecting impatience and a willingness to fight fire with fire. The result, a divided Canadian response, with Ford as the defiant defender and Carney as the cautious diplomat. Trade Representative David Paterson, the target of Hoekstra's tirade, became a symbol of the personal animosity fueling the crisis. The clash of styles, populist bravado versus institutional restraint, deepened the conflict. Personalities, not just policies, were now driving the showdown. The White House response came not through diplomacy, but in all caps on President Trump's Truth Social. "All trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated," he declared, slamming the door on talks. Trump accused Canada of fraudulently using Reagan's words and threatened a 10% blanket tariff on all Canadian imports. This was no longer about specific industries, it was economic warfare. The announcement sent shockwaves through markets and devastated Canada's hopes for a negotiated solution. The president's move held the Canadian economy hostage over a TV ad. A shocking escalation. Major policy decisions were now being made in real time on social media, with no warning or consultation. The message, loyalty to the president, was paramount, and any perceived slight would be met with swift, severe retribution. The trade war's impact is real and immediate for millions on both sides of the border. Tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos hit Canada's industrial heart, threatening jobs and entire communities. Trump's threat of a 10% blanket tariff risked turning a crisis into catastrophe. The US-Canada trade relationship is massive, with billions in goods and services crossing daily. Disrupted supply chains mean higher prices, lost jobs, and reduced competitiveness for North American manufacturers. American businesses and farmers also face higher costs and potential retaliation, risking their own livelihoods. The political decision to punish Canada could backfire, harming American workers and consumers. What started as a political spat now threatened the economic well-being of millions. The crisis sent shockwaves through both capitals, exposing deep political divisions. In the US, Trump's tariffs faced rare Senate opposition, with a resolution to block them narrowly passing. The House, controlled by Trump allies, was unlikely to follow suit, highlighting a fractured Washington. Some lawmakers warned of economic damage and alliance strain, while others backed Trump's hardline stance. In Canada, Prime Minister Carney's quiet diplomacy clashed with Ford's confrontational tactics. The good cop, bad cop dynamic risked mixed signals and undermined national unity. Canadians were united in frustration, but their leaders were divided on strategy. The lack of a unified front complicated Canada's response at a critical moment. Both nations now faced internal debates over how to handle an unpredictable, high-stakes conflict. Experts see this crisis as more than a temporary spat. It's a sign of a fundamental shift in US foreign policy. Traditional diplomacy's patience and mutual respect have been replaced by impulsive, transactional tactics. The willingness to threaten an entire economic relationship over a single ad shows a move away from strategic thinking. Businesses now face uncertainty, hesitant to invest when trade rules can change with a tweet. The personal nature of the conflict, Hoekstra's outburst, Trump's offense, shows ego outweighing national interest. This style of diplomacy erodes alliances, replacing stability with volatility. The crisis is a warning to other US allies. No relationship is safe from America First disruption. For Canada, the challenge is navigating a partnership with a superpower that can turn adversarial overnight. The damage to trust may last long after the tariffs and tweets are gone. As the dust settles, the path forward for the US and Canada is uncertain and fraught. Restarting dialogue will require skill and a willingness to step back from the brink. Both sides must lower the temperature and return to the negotiating table. The crisis is a stark reminder of the importance of diplomacy and the dangers of abandoning established norms. Rebuilding trust will take time and a renewed commitment to respectful professional conduct. The US-Canada relationship, a model for over a century, now faces its greatest test. Mending fences won't be easy, but the prosperity and security of millions depend on rediscovering the quiet power of partnership.